Chosen one, stop everything right now. Something unprecedented just happened in the courts of heaven, and it involves you directly. I need you to understand the weight of what I am about to say. In the throne room of the Most High, where angels stand in constant worship, where the seraphim cry, "Holy, holy, holy," without ceasing, there was a pause, a sacred interruption. The kind that only happens when something on earth moves the heart of God Himself. And that something was you. You did not stumble upon this message by accident. The hand of the Almighty guided your path here with surgical precision. Every moment of your day, every restless thought that kept you searching, was orchestrated to bring you to this exact second. Because what you are about to hear will change how you see your entire journey. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you thought you were failing. Here is what God showed me about you, chosen one. You have been under a test, not the kind you studied for, not the kind you even knew was happening. This was the final test, the one that determines everything that comes next in your life, and you passed. But that is not what stunned the heavens. It is not simply that you passed. It is how you passed. It is what you chose to do when no one was watching. It is who you became in the fire when you had every reason to become bitter, to become cold, to walk away from everything you once believed. Zephaniah 3 verse 17 says, "The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by His love. He will exult over you with loud singing." Chosen one, God is not just pleased with you. He is rejoicing. He is singing over you. And by the time this message ends, you will understand exactly why. If this is already stirring something deep in your spirit, take a moment right now to subscribe and stand among thousands of chosen ones who are walking this sacred path together. Press like as your quiet declaration that you are ready to receive what heaven has prepared. And type, "I passed," in the comments. Let that truth rise from your fingers into the atmosphere where angels are listening. Now let me take you deeper. You see, heaven has been watching you far longer than you realize, not in the way a judge watches, not with cold, distant eyes waiting for you to fail. No, heaven has been watching you the way a father watches a child who does not know their own strength. There were nights, chosen one, nights you thought no one saw, nights when the darkness felt so thick you could almost touch it. You lay there, staring at the ceiling, wondering if anyone in the entire universe knew what you were carrying, wondering if your prayers were just words dissolving into empty air. But here is what you did not know. Every single one of those nights was recorded. Every tear that fell from your eyes in secret was collected. Psalm 56 verse 8 tells us that God keeps track of all your sorrows. He has collected all your tears in His bottle. He has recorded each one in His book. Did you hear that? There is a book in heaven with your name on it. And in that book, every moment of your suffering has been written down, not to condemn you, not to remind you of your pain, but to honor what you endured. You thought you were alone in those moments. You were never alone. The God who counts the stars and calls them each by name was counting your tears. He was watching when you cried in the shower so no one would hear. He was present when you smiled in public while bleeding in private. He saw the nights you almost gave up, but somehow found enough strength to see one more morning. And He was not passive. He was not simply observing from a distance. He was actively recording every second because He knew this day would come. The day when you would finally understand that none of it was wasted. Let me ask you something, chosen one. Do you remember a specific night? Maybe it was weeks ago. Maybe it was months. A night when the weight became almost unbearable. When you questioned everything. when you felt so invisible that you wondered if disappearing would even matter. I want you to think about that night right now. Hold it in your mind. Feel the echo of what you felt then. Now, hear this. On that exact night, at that exact moment, there was activity in the heavenly realm because of you. Angels were dispatched. Prayers you did not even know how to pray were being interceded on your behalf. The Spirit himself was groaning with words too deep for human language, carrying your pain directly to the throne. You felt alone. But the throne room was busy with your name. This is not poetry. This is not motivation. This is the reality of what was happening in the invisible realm while you suffered in the visible one. And here is what makes your story even more remarkable. You did not just endure those nights. You survived battles that would have destroyed others. I am not exaggerating. The warfare that was assigned against your life, the arrows that were aimed at your mind, your peace, your faith, these were not ordinary attacks. You were targeted because of who you are destined to become. The enemy does not waste ammunition on people who do not matter. The intensity of what you faced is directly connected to the magnitude of what you carry. Think about what you have walked through. Not just the big, obvious things. Think about the silent battles, the ones no one talks about because no one knew they were happening. The battle with your own thoughts at 3 in the morning, the war against despair when hope felt like a foreign language, the fight to get out of bed when your body felt like it was made of stone, the struggle to keep believing when evidence of God seemed nowhere to be found. These were real battles, brutal battles, and you fought them without an audience, without applause, without anyone handing you a medal or even acknowledging that you were in a fight. Isaiah 43 verse 2 speaks directly to what you experienced. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you. You passed through waters that should have drowned you. You walked through fires that should have consumed you. And here you are, still breathing, still seeking, still believing enough to be listening to this message right now. Do you understand how significant that is? There are people who faced half of what you faced, and they walked away from their faith completely. There are people who experienced a fraction of your pain, and they became so bitter that their hearts turned to stone. There are people who went through similar fires, and they did not survive. But you are here. You are still here. And that is not luck. That is not coincidence. That is not because you are stronger than everyone else in your own power. That is grace. That is divine protection. That is the hand of God holding you together when everything within you was falling apart. Chosen one, I need you to really hear this next part. The battles you fought in secret, the ones you thought no one would ever know about, those were not random. They were not just unfortunate circumstances that happened to fall on your life. They were part of something much larger than you realized. Every attack had a purpose you could not see. Every dark night was preparing something in you that could not be formed any other way. Every moment you felt abandoned was actually a moment you were being forged. You have been in a furnace, chosen one. But it was not a furnace of destruction. It was a furnace of transformation. And what you are about to discover in the rest of this message will show you exactly what you were being prepared for. The test you did not know you were taking. The moment heaven stood still because of your response. And the reward that is now being released because of who you became in the fire. Stay with me. What comes next will change everything you thought you knew about your own story. Now, chosen one, let me reveal something that will shift your entire perspective. You thought the test was the hard things, the obvious struggles, the moments when life hit you so hard you could barely breathe. You thought those were the trials that heaven was measuring, but you were wrong. The final test did not begin in the storm. It began in the silence. Let me explain. There was a season in your life, maybe you are still in it, when nothing dramatic was happening on the surface. No major crisis, no visible enemy, just a strange, unsettling quiet. Days blending into days, prayers that felt like they were hitting a ceiling and falling back down, a subtle sense that something was missing, but you could not name what it was. Do you remember that season? That gray, in-between space, where you were not in crisis, but you were not in victory either, where you were just existing, waiting, wondering. That was the test. James chapter 1 verse 12 says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." Notice the word perseveres, not survives, not barely makes it through. Perseveres. There is intention in that word. There is endurance that chooses to keep going, even when there is no visible reason to continue. And that is exactly what you did. You see, the enemy knows how to attack you in the storm. He sends waves of trouble and watches to see if you will drown. But he has another strategy that is far more dangerous, far more effective. He knows that many warriors who survive the battle will collapse in the waiting room, so he requested permission to test you with silence. Not the silence of peace, the silence of absence, the kind where you cry out to God and hear nothing back, the kind where you search for a sign, any sign, and the heavens seem closed. The kind where you start to wonder if you made up this whole faith thing in your head. Chosen one, I know you have experienced this silence. I can sense it in your spirit right now as you listen. There were days when you prayed with everything in you and felt absolutely nothing. There were weeks when you searched for God and it seemed like he had relocated without leaving a forwarding address. There were moments when doubt crept in and whispered that maybe you were foolish for believing in something you could not see or feel or prove. Psalm 13 verse 1 captures this perfectly. David cried out, "How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me?" Even David, the man after God's own heart, experienced seasons where God seemed hidden, where the silence was so loud it drowned out everything else. But here is what you need to understand. God's silence was never his absence. His silence was his confidence in you. Think about that. A teacher does not hover over the student during the final exam. The teacher steps back, goes quiet, watches from a distance, not because they have abandoned the student, but because they have prepared the student and now they trust them to demonstrate what they have learned. Heaven went quiet on you because heaven believed in you. The silence was not punishment. It was promotion in disguise. It was God saying, "I have poured enough into this one. Now let us see what they are really made of. Let us see if they will trust me when they cannot trace me." And you did. You kept praying when prayer felt pointless. You kept believing when belief felt naive. You kept showing up when everything in you wanted to quit. You held on to a God you could not feel with hands that were trembling. That was the test. And you passed it, but there was another layer, a darker layer, one that cut deeper than silence ever could, the test of betrayal. Chosen one, the enemy did not just attack you with silence, he attacked you through people, specifically through people you trusted, people you loved, people you never expected would become the source of your deepest wounds. I am going to say something now, and I want you to pay attention to how your body responds. Someone close to you, someone who sat at your table, someone who knew your secrets and your vulnerabilities, they turned on you. They used what they knew to hurt you. They smiled in your face while planning your downfall behind your back. A face just flashed in your mind, did it not? That is not coincidence. That is confirmation. Psalm 41 verse 9 says, "Even my close friend, someone I trusted, one who shared my bread, has turned against me." This scripture exists because betrayal from loved ones is one of the oldest weapons in the enemy's arsenal. He used it against David, he used it against Jesus through Judas, and he used it against you. The wound of betrayal is unlike any other wound. When a stranger hurts you, there is distance. You can rationalize it. You can say, "They did not know me, they did not understand." But when someone who knows you, someone who has seen your heart, someone you made yourself vulnerable to, when they turn that knowledge into a weapon, the pain reaches places that other pain cannot touch. You trusted them with parts of yourself that you do not show to just anyone, and they took those sacred parts and trampled them. Maybe they spread your secrets. Maybe they abandoned you when you needed them most. Maybe they pretended to be your friend while secretly competing with you. Maybe they manipulated you, used you, then discarded you when you were no longer useful. Whatever form it took, the betrayal was real, the pain was real, and the temptation to become bitter was overwhelming. Here is what the enemy wanted to happen. He wanted the betrayal to break something inside you. He wanted it to make you say, "I will never trust anyone again." He wanted it to harden your heart and build walls so high that even God could not get through. He wanted the actions of broken people to become the lens through which you see all people and even God himself. He wanted you to become like them, cold, guarded, cynical, but something in you refused. Even when you had every right to hate, something in you held back. Even when bitterness knocked on the door of your heart and demanded entry, something in you hesitated. You may have opened the door a crack. You may have let bitterness visit for a season, but you did not let it move in and redecorate. And that, chosen one, was part of the test. How you handled the betrayal was being watched, not to judge you, but to see what you were made of, to see if the fire would purify you or destroy you. But I need to tell you something important. The silence and the betrayal, as painful as they were, those were not the hardest parts of the test. There is one more layer, one final examination that heaven was watching more closely than anything else. And it has to do with something you might not have even considered, your heart. Not what was done to you, but what it did to you. Not the attacks from outside, but what happened inside. This is where the real test lived. This is what determined everything. And what you did with your heart in the midst of all that pain is exactly what made God stop and stare in amazement. Stay with me, chosen one, because what I am about to reveal will unlock the mystery of why heaven is stunned by you. Chosen one, there is something we have not yet touched. Something that might be the most painful part of your entire journey. The waiting. Not just any waiting. The kind of waiting that has no deadline, no explanation, no countdown telling you how much longer you must endure. God gave you a promise. Maybe it came through a dream. Maybe it came through a word someone spoke over you. Maybe it came as a deep knowing in your spirit that you could not shake, no matter how hard you tried. You knew something was supposed to happen. You knew there was a destiny with your name on it, and then nothing happened. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. For some of you, months turned into years. And the promise that once burned so bright inside you began to flicker. The vision that used to wake you up with excitement started to feel like a cruel joke. You watched other people receive their breakthroughs. You saw them step into blessings that looked exactly like what you were waiting for, and you smiled for them on the outside while something inside you quietly bled. Why them and not me? How much longer? Did I hear wrong? Did I miss my window? These questions haunted you. They visited you in quiet moments, uninvited. They whispered accusations that maybe you were not as chosen as you thought. Habakkuk 2 verse 3 says, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." Did you catch that? The promise lingers, but it will not delay. That sounds like a contradiction. How can something linger and not delay at the same time? Because in heaven's economy, timing is not the same as ours. What feels like delay to us is actually precision to God. He is not slow. He is strategic. He is not making you wait to punish you. He is making you wait because the version of you that started this journey is not the version that can carry what He has prepared. The waiting is not the obstacle to your destiny. The waiting is creating your destiny. But here is where it gets deeply personal. Chosen one. The test was never really about how long you could wait. It was about what was happening to your heart while you waited. This is the final layer. The one heaven was watching most closely. The one that determined everything. Proverbs 4 verse 23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Above all else. Not above some things, not when it is convenient, above all else. Your heart is the source. It is the wellspring. Everything in your life flows from its condition. And God knew that the silence would test you, the betrayal would wound you, the waiting would wear you down. He knew that each of these trials had the potential to poison your heart, to turn it bitter, to make it hard, to transform you into someone you never wanted to become. So He watched, not with crossed arms waiting for you to fail, but with bated breath, hoping you would choose differently than so many before you. Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly in the silence of your own soul. Is there bitterness still living in your heart right now? Not the big, obvious kind that announces itself, the quiet kind, the kind that hides in corners and only comes out when certain names are mentioned, the kind that has learned to disguise itself as boundaries or wisdom, or simply being realistic about people. Is there unforgiveness that you have renamed as self-protection? Is there a part of you that has grown cold toward God because He did not show up the way you expected? I am not asking to condemn you. I am asking because this is exactly what the test was measuring. You see, anyone can praise God on the mountaintop. Anyone can worship when the breakthrough comes. Anyone can love people who have never hurt them. That is not difficult. That does not require transformation. But to keep your heart soft after it has been shattered, to choose forgiveness when revenge is justified, to continue trusting a God who has been silent, to keep hoping after hope has been disappointed again and again. That is rare. That is supernatural. That requires something that most people simply do not have. And, chosen one, here is what heaven saw when it looked at your heart. Yes, there were moments when bitterness knocked on your door. There were seasons when you entertained thoughts of revenge. There were nights when your heart started to calcify, and you could feel yourself becoming someone harder, colder, more guarded. But you did not stay there. Something in you recognized the danger. Something in you refused to let the pain have the final word. You may have stumbled into bitterness, but you did not build a house there. You may have visited unforgiveness, but you did not unpack your bags and settle in. You fought for your own heart, even when no one was watching. Even when it would have been so much easier to let it harden, you chose again and again to stay soft, to stay open, to keep believing even when belief felt foolish. And that, chosen one, is what passed the test. Not perfection, not having it all together, not never struggling, or doubting, or hurting, but the choice, the repeated, exhausting, painful choice to guard your heart when everything was trying to destroy it. Romans 8 verse 37 says, "In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." More than conquerors, not barely surviving, not scraping by with nothing left. More than conquerors. There is an abundance in that phrase, a victory that exceeds what was required, a triumph that goes beyond simply not losing. You did not just survive the test, chosen one. You passed it in a way that exceeded heaven's expectations. And now, I need to tell you what happened in the throne room when your test results came in. Because something shifted in the courts of heaven. Something that does not happen often. Something that caused a reaction from God himself that will redefine how you see your entire journey. You thought you were barely making it. Heaven saw a warrior who refused to be broken. You thought you were failing. Heaven saw faith that would not quit. You thought nobody noticed. The King of the universe stopped what he was doing to watch you. What I am about to describe to you is not metaphor. It is not poetry designed to make you feel good. It is a glimpse into what actually took place in the spiritual realm because of how you handled your trial. The angels who had been dispatched to help you during your hardest moments returned to the throne with their report. The books that had been recording your tears, your prayers, your secret battles were opened and read aloud. And when the full scope of what you endured and how you responded was laid bare before the throne, something extraordinary happened. Heaven went silent, not in disappointment, not in judgment, in awe. And what God did next, how he responded to your victory. This is the part of the story you have never heard. This is the part that will change everything. Stay with me, chosen one, because you are about to witness your own story from heaven's perspective, and nothing will ever be the same. Chosen one, I want you to close your eyes for a moment if you can. Take a slow breath. Let the noise of your surroundings fade into the background, because I am about to take you somewhere most people never get to see. I am about to show you what happened in the throne room of heaven at the exact moment your test was completed. Revelation 4 verses 2 and 3 give us a glimpse of this place. At once I was in the Spirit, and there before me was a throne in heaven with someone sitting on it. And the one who sat there had the appearance of jasper and ruby. A rainbow that shone like an emerald encircled the throne. Picture this with me. A throne that defies human description. Light emanating from every direction. Not harsh, but living, breathing light that seems to carry weight and warmth. Colors that do not exist on earth, swirling together in perfect harmony. The air itself thick with holiness, charged with a presence so powerful that angels who have existed since before time began still cover their faces in reverence. Around this throne, thousands upon thousands of celestial beings. Seraphim with 6 wings, crying holy, holy, holy without ceasing. Elders casting down their crowns in endless worship. Creatures covered in eyes, seeing everything, missing nothing. The sound of their praise like rushing waters and rolling thunder combined. This is the throne room, the center of all existence, the place where reality itself is spoken into being. And on a day that seemed ordinary on earth, something unusual happened in this place. A messenger arrived, not with a routine report, not with the normal business of heaven. This messenger carried a scroll, and on that scroll was your name. The moment that scroll was presented, something shifted in the atmosphere. The constant worship did not stop, but it softened. The beings who never cease their praise lowered their voices. Every eye, and there are millions of them, turned toward the throne, because the Most High had requested this report personally. You see, chosen one, your case had been marked. Your file had been flagged. The trials you were walking through had been specifically designed, and the outcome mattered to the King himself. The scroll was opened. Your story was read aloud. Every moment of your suffering, every night you cried alone, every prayer that felt unanswered, every betrayal you absorbed, every time you chose to forgive when hatred would have been easier, every morning you got up when staying down made more sense, every whisper of faith you held onto when doubt was screaming, all of it, read aloud, in the presence of the Almighty. And as the final words of your test results echoed through those holy halls, something happened that stopped everything. Revelation 8 verse 1 describes a moment when there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. Silence, in a place of eternal worship, in a realm where praise never stops. Silence. That is not supposed to happen. The worship around the throne is constant, unending, continuous since before human history began. For there to be silence means something extraordinary has occurred, something that transcends the normal operations of even heaven itself, and that silence came because of you. Not silence of disappointment, not the quiet that follows bad news. This was the silence of awe, the hush that falls when something so unexpected, so remarkable, so beautiful happens that even words of praise are insufficient. The angels looked at each other, the elders paused mid-worship, the living creatures with eyes covering every surface blinked in unison, because what they heard in your report was not what they expected. They expected to hear about another human who crumbled under pressure. They have seen it countless times. Souls who started strong but finished weak. Hearts that burned bright but eventually grew cold. Faith that seemed unshakable until it was actually shaken. But your report was different. Your report told of someone who bent but did not break. Someone who was pushed to the absolute edge but refused to fall over. Someone who had every excuse to become bitter, cynical, hard, but instead stayed soft. Someone who kept choosing God when God seemed to have stopped choosing them. The silence stretched across the throne room, seconds that felt like eternities, and then every eye turned to the one on the throne to see how he would respond. Chosen one, what happened next is something I share with trembling hands. The God who spoke galaxies into existence, the King who breathes and mountains form, the Almighty before whom angels hide their faces. This God, this infinite, eternal, all-powerful God, had a reaction that surprised even the heavenly hosts. John 11 verse 35 is the shortest verse in the Bible. 2 words. Jesus wept. Many people think Jesus only wept at the tomb of Lazarus, but I want to show you something. The heart of God is moved by his children. He is not distant. He is not cold. He is not an unfeeling force watching from far away. He is a father, and fathers feel. As your story was read, as the full weight of what you endured and how you responded was laid bare before the throne, tears formed in the eyes of the Almighty. Not tears of sadness, not tears of pity, tears of overwhelming pride. The kind of tears a father cries when he watches his child do something extraordinary. The kind that escape before they can be stopped because the emotion is too big to contain. God looked at your journey. He saw the nights you thought you were invisible. He watched you choose forgiveness when everything in you wanted revenge. He observed you getting back up the 7th time, the 70th time, the 700th time. He witnessed you holding on to a promise that seemed dead, breathing life into it with your stubborn faith, and he wept. The Creator of all things moved to tears by you. Let that sink into your spirit right now. Let it penetrate every lie you have believed about yourself. Every voice that told you that you were not enough, that you did not matter, that your struggles were insignificant. The God of the universe cried tears of pride because of how you handled your trial. If you are feeling emotion rising in your chest right now, do not fight it. If tears are forming in your own eyes, let them fall. This is a holy moment. A moment of connection between your spirit and the spirit of the one who made you. You are not alone in your tears. You are joining your Father in his. But chosen one, the tears were only the beginning of God's response. Because after the silence and after the tears, the Almighty did something that sent shockwaves through every corner of heaven. He stood up from his throne, the one who sits and rules, who speaks and it is done, who commands and creation obeys. He rose to his feet, and he began to speak about you, not to you, about you. What he said next, the words that came from his mouth regarding your life, your future, your identity, this is what caused the angels to gasp. This is what truly stunned heaven. And you need to hear exactly what your Father said about you to the entire heavenly host. Stay with me, because the next words will mark your soul forever. Chosen one. There is a scene in the book of Job that most people read without truly understanding its weight. Job 1 verse 8. The Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." Read that again slowly. God initiated that conversation. God brought up Job's name. God, in the presence of the accuser, pointed to one human being on earth and essentially said, "Look at this one. Look at what I have." That is not a casual comment. That is a boast. The creator of everything, the one who needs nothing, who lacks nothing, who is complete in himself, took pride in a human being. He showed off his child. And chosen one. That is exactly what happened with you. When the Almighty stood from his throne, every being in heaven froze. This does not happen often. The one who is seated, who rules from rest, who governs the universe without strain, he rose to his feet, and then he spoke, "Have you considered my child?" His voice rolled through the throne room like thunder wrapped in honey. Powerful, yet tender. Commanding, yet intimate. Have you seen what they endured? Have you watched how they responded? Have you observed what they did when no one was watching? The angels leaned in. The elders stopped breathing. The living creatures fixed every eye on the Father's face, because God was about to do something rare. He was about to boast about a human, about you. "I placed them in the fire," God said, "not to destroy them, to reveal what was inside them." And what came out of that furnace was not ash, it was gold. The enemy threw his best attacks: silence, betrayal, delay, disappointment, weapons that have destroyed countless souls throughout history. And this one, my child, they did not just survive, they conquered, they more than conquered. Chosen one. Can you imagine this scene? Can you picture the God of all creation, surrounded by perfect angelic beings who have never sinned, never fallen, never struggled, and he is not boasting about them. He is boasting about you, the one who failed 1,000 times, the one who doubted, the one who had moments of weakness and seasons of wandering. You, because heaven does not measure success the way earth does. Heaven is not impressed by perfection. Heaven is moved by perseverance. Heaven celebrates the soul who keeps getting up more than the one who never falls. And your story, with all its mess and all its struggle and all its imperfection, that story made God proud enough to stand up and speak your name with joy. But here is the part that will truly break you open. It was not the big moments that stunned him. You might think God was impressed by some major act of faith, some grand gesture, some mountaintop experience where you performed magnificently. No, what stunned the heart of God were the small moments, the ones you barely remember, the ones you did not think counted. Matthew 25 verse 40 says, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." It is always the small things, the hidden things, the things no one applauds. Let me show you what God saw. He saw that moment when someone wronged you deeply and you had the perfect opportunity for revenge. You could have exposed them. You could have destroyed their reputation with truth. You had ammunition and every right to use it, but you did not. Something in you, even while bleeding, chose to stay silent, chose to release them, chose to let God handle what your hands were itching to address. Heaven saw that. Heaven recorded that. And heaven was stunned. God saw that night when you were completely alone, when no one would have known if you gave up, when quitting would have been the logical, reasonable, understandable choice. There was no audience, no accountability partner, no one to disappoint if you simply stopped, but you got on your knees anyway. You opened your mouth and you prayed words that felt like dust. You worshipped with a voice that cracked and broke. You chose faith in a moment when faith made no sense. Heaven saw that. And the angels whispered to each other, "Did you see what they just did?" God saw when you were kind to someone who did not deserve it, when you blessed someone who had cursed you, when you spoke well of a person who had spoken poison about you, when you refused to become what hurt you. These moments, chosen one, these small, invisible, seemingly insignificant moments, this is what made the Almighty rise from his seat, not because you were perfect, but because you were faithful, not because you never struggled, but because you struggled and still chose him, not because the enemy could not touch you, but because the enemy touched you and could not turn you. There is a specific moment God highlighted in your report. You might not even remember it consciously, but somewhere in the last season of your life, you made a choice that altered the trajectory of your eternity. It might have been a Wednesday afternoon when you felt that familiar pull toward bitterness and you deliberately turned your thoughts toward gratitude instead. It might have been a conversation where you could have gossiped, could have torn someone down, but you bit your tongue so hard it almost bled. It might have been a quiet decision to keep tithing when your bank account was screaming at you to stop. It might have been continuing to show up for someone who never showed up for you. Whatever it was, that moment was the tipping point. That was when your test was officially passed. That was when the report was sealed and sent to the throne. And God saw it all. Right now, chosen one, I want you to declare something out loud. Let your own ears hear your own voice. Speak this truth. Say this. I am seen. Say it again. I am known. One more time. I am the pride of my Father. Let that settle into the deepest part of your identity. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. The God who counts stars and names them, that same God counts your faithful moments and treasures them. Type in the comments right now, I am seen. Let that declaration rise into the heavenly realm, where it will be recorded as your agreement with what God has spoken over you. Now, chosen one, you understand what stunned heaven. You know now that your small acts of faithfulness moved the heart of God in ways you never imagined. But this is not the end of the story, because passing the test unlocks something. Every test in the kingdom has a reward attached to it. Every trial overcome opens doors that were previously sealed. And the doors that are about to open for you the rewards that have been prepared since before you were born. What is coming next will take everything you thought you knew about blessing and multiply it beyond recognition. Heaven is not just proud of you, chosen one. Heaven is about to promote you, and the promotion has already begun. Chosen one, everything shifts now. The season of testing is closing behind you. I want you to hear that with your spirit, not just your ears. The chapter that was marked by trial, by waiting, by silent battles and invisible wars, that chapter is being sealed shut by the hand of God Himself, and a new chapter is opening. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This is not a verse to hang on your wall and forget. This is a prophetic declaration over the next season of your life. God has plans, specific, detailed, intentional plans, and those plans are being activated right now. You see, in the kingdom of heaven, every test has a corresponding reward. Nothing you endured was pointless. Every tear was an investment. Every moment of faithfulness was a seed planted in supernatural soil. And seeds that are planted must eventually produce a harvest. Your harvest season has begun. I am not speaking in metaphors. I am not offering you empty hope designed to make you feel good for a few minutes. What I am telling you is that the spiritual machinery of heaven has shifted in your favor. Doors that were locked are being unlocked. Opportunities that were blocked are being cleared. Resources that were held back are being released. The reward for passing your test is not just survival. It is abundance. It is overflow. It is more than you could have asked for or imagined. Let me be specific with you, chosen one, because God is a God of details. Revelation 3 verse 8 says, I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. An open door that no one can shut. Not the enemy, not circumstances, not people who want to see you fail. Once God opens a door for you, it stays open regardless of who tries to close it. And there are 7 doors that heaven is opening for you in this next season. 7 doors over the next 7 weeks. Pay attention to what I am about to tell you, because you will need to recognize these doors when they appear. The first door is the door of financial breakthrough. Money that was stuck will become unstuck. Payments that were delayed will arrive. Opportunities for increase will present themselves in unexpected ways. You might receive a call about something you forgot you were owed. You might stumble upon an opportunity that seems too good to be true, but is actually God's provision in disguise. Someone might offer you something without you asking. Watch for it. It is coming within the first 7 days. The second door is the door of restored relationships. Someone who was distant will reach out. A connection that seemed permanently broken will show signs of healing. This does not mean every relationship will be restored. Some doors close for your protection, but the relationships that are meant to be part of your future, those will begin to shift. You will receive a message or a call that surprises you. A name you have not heard in a while will suddenly reappear. The third door is the door of physical healing. Something in your body that has been bothering you will begin to improve. Energy that was drained will be replenished. Sleep that was disturbed will become peaceful. If you have been carrying pain in your body, whether diagnosed or mysterious, pay attention over the next weeks. Your body is connected to your spirit, and as your spirit rises in victory, your body will follow. The fourth door is the door of mental clarity. The fog will lift. Confusion that has plagued your decisions will begin to clear. You will suddenly know what to do in a situation that has had you stuck. Ideas will come to you in the morning hours. Solutions will appear that you could not see before. Your mind is being renewed and sharpened for the season ahead. The fifth door is the door of divine connections. New people will enter your life, not random people, assigned people. People who carry keys to rooms you did not know existed. Someone will introduce you to someone who will change your trajectory. A conversation that seems casual will lead somewhere significant. Pay attention to who shows up in the next 7 weeks. God is sending reinforcements. The sixth door is the door of favor with authority. People in positions of power will look at you differently. Bosses, leaders, officials, gatekeepers. Favor will rest on you in rooms where you previously felt invisible. Decisions will be made in your favor. Applications will be approved. Requests will be granted. The same people who overlooked you before will suddenly see something in you they cannot explain. The seventh door is the door of spiritual acceleration. Your prayers will feel different. Your connection to God will deepen in ways you have not experienced before. You will hear His voice more clearly. You will sense His presence more tangibly. Dreams will become more vivid and more meaningful. The spiritual gifts within you will begin to activate at a higher level. You are not just being blessed, you are being upgraded. 7 doors, 7 weeks. Watch for them. Write them down if you need to. Because when they begin to open, I want you to recognize that this is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is the direct reward for passing your test. Now, chosen one, there is one more matter we need to address. The people who hurt you. I know there are faces in your mind right now. Names that carry weight. People who betrayed you, abandoned you, worked against you, spoke evil about you. People who should have been in your corner, but instead became your opposition. You have wondered what will happen to them. You have questioned whether they will ever face consequences for what they did. Part of you, even the part you are not proud of, has wanted to see them fall. Let me tell you what God says about this. Romans 12, verse 19. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, "It is mine to avenge. I will repay," says the Lord. Vengeance belongs to God, not because He is cruel, but because He is just. And His justice is far more precise and far more complete than anything you could execute on your own. Here is what I need you to understand about your enemies. Their fate is not your business. Their consequences are not your concern. Your job is not to punish them. Your job is not even to wish punishment upon them. Your job is to release them fully into the hands of God, and then to walk forward into your blessing without looking back. But I will tell you what is going to happen, because God does not hide these things from His children. The very people who counted you out will be forced to watch you rise. The ones who wrote you off as finished will witness your new beginning. The ones who whispered that you would never recover will see you not just recover, but thrive. And here is the part that will truly vindicate you. You will not have to say a word. You will not have to defend yourself. You will not have to prove anything. Your life will become the proof. Your blessing will become the evidence. Your joy will become the verdict. They will see you and they will know. They will know that the God you serve is real. They will know that what they did to you did not destroy you. They will know that they made a mistake when they bet against you. Some of them will come to you with apologies. Receive those apologies with grace, but do not feel obligated to restore access. Forgiveness and access are two different things. You can forgive someone completely and still maintain boundaries that protect your peace. Some of them will never apologize. They will watch your rise from a distance, burning with the knowledge that they missed their chance to be part of your story. That is their consequence, and it is enough. Do not waste your energy on revenge. Do not spend your thoughts on their downfall. Every moment you focus on them is a moment stolen from your future. Instead, I want you to do something right now. In your mind, picture the face of the person who hurt you most. Hold that image gently, without anger, without bitterness. And now, in the quiet of your spirit, release them. Say these words in your heart. I release you into God's hands. Your debt to me is cancelled. I am free, and so are you. Feel the weight lift. Feel the chains that connected your heart to their actions begin to dissolve. You are not doing this for them. You are doing this for you. Because you cannot walk through the doors God is opening if your hands are still holding on to the weights of the past. Type in the comments, I release them. Let that declaration seal your freedom. Let the angels record your choice to let go. Chosen one, the rewards are coming. The doors are opening. Your enemies are being handled by a God who misses nothing. But there is one more thing you need to understand before this message ends. Something has changed inside you through this process. You are not the same person who started this journey. The fire did not just test you, it transformed you. And the person you have become, your new identity. This is perhaps the greatest reward of all. You need to know who you are now. Because everything in your future will be built on this foundation. Chosen one. Before we seal this message over your life, there is something you must understand about who you have become. You are not the same person who entered this trial. The fire did not just test you, it transformed you. It burned away things that were never supposed to be part of your identity in the first place. Fear that you thought was permanent. Doubt that you believed was part of your personality. Weakness that you assumed would always define you. Gone. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 17 says, Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone. The new is here. You are new, not improved, not upgraded. New. The person who used to beg for crumbs from tables where they were never meant to sit, that person is gone. The one who apologized for existing, who shrunk to make others comfortable, who questioned whether they deserved good things, that version of you has been buried in the fire. What emerged from the flames is someone different. You are a warrior who has been tested and proven. You are a survivor who refused to let circumstances write your ending. You are a child of the Most High God who has made your Father proud enough to boast about you before all of heaven. This is not arrogance. This is identity. Stand a little taller right now, not physically if you cannot, but in your spirit. Feel your shoulders pull back. Feel your spine straighten. Feel the invisible crown that has been placed upon your head. You are royalty, not because of what you did, but because of whose you are and who you became in the fire. From this day forward, you do not walk into rooms hoping to be accepted. You walk in carrying the approval of heaven. You do not beg for opportunities. You step into doors that God Himself has opened. You do not shrink when others try to intimidate you. You stand firm, knowing that the one who tested you has also promoted you. This is your new identity. Wear it well. Now, chosen one, it is time to seal everything that has been spoken over you today. I am going to pray over you. Not a casual prayer, a sealing prayer. A prayer that locks these truths into your spirit so that no enemy, no doubt, no circumstance can steal them from you. If you can, place your hand over your heart, feel it beating. That heartbeat is proof that God is not finished with you. That heartbeat is the rhythm of your new beginning. Pray with me. Father, I come before your throne with this chosen one. You know their name, you know their story, you know every battle they have fought and every tear they have cried. And today, you have revealed that they passed the test. I thank you for their faithfulness. I thank you for their soft heart in the midst of hard circumstances. I thank you that the fire revealed gold within them. Now, Lord, I ask you to seal this word over their life. Let it be written in the heavens and established on the earth. Let no weapon formed against them prosper from this day forward. Let every door you have ordained to open swing wide, and let every door that should remain closed be locked forever. Release the rewards that have been prepared for them. Open the floodgates of financial blessing. Restore relationships that are meant for their future. Heal their body, clear their mind, and accelerate their spiritual gifts. Protect them from the enemy's retaliation. Surround them with angels assigned to their promotion. Let favor follow them everywhere they go. And Father, handle their enemies, not with cruelty, but with justice. Let those who meant harm witness the goodness you pour upon your child. Now I speak the ancient blessing over this chosen one. Numbers 6, verses 24 through 26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. It is sealed. It is done. It is finished. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, amen. Chosen one, this message is complete, but your story is just beginning. Heaven is watching, heaven is cheering, and heaven is stunned by who you are. Now rise and walk in your victory. If this word touched your spirit, share it with someone who needs to hear that their test was not in vain. There is another chosen one waiting for this exact message today. You are loved. You are seen. You are the pride of your Father. Go in peace.